easy, hallelujah, can be taken from you just as easily. But when you are willing to give God everything, hallelujah, God's got everything to give you. Hallelujah. He said, hallelujah, that I'm not going to put more on you than you're able to bear. And so whatever the process entails, whatever the process must take, whatever the process has to be, you've got to be willing to go through. Hallelujah. I know that in the last 5 years, there have been some things that have taken place. There have been some hardships and trials and tribulations that have had to be gotten over. Hallelujah. But look at somebody and tell them it's a part of the process.
It's a part of the process.
It's a part of us becoming who God would have us to be. I don't know about you, but I don't want to stay in the same place that I'm in year after year and month after month and week after week. But when this time next year comes, look at somebody and tell them you're going to see some greatness coming out of me. Look at somebody and prophesy on your own life and say, neighbor, you're going to see some greatness coming out of me. Hallelujah. I thank God because he said that my plan is of good and not of evil, to bring you to an expected end. And so what that lets us know is that God has great things in store for us. He has the more than in store for us. He said, I'm going to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think. And so you've got to understand that what you have on your mind for your life, what you have on your mind for this ministry, God got something even greater than that. And I don't know about you, but I want what God has for me. I don't want it to be what I want, because if God's got something greater, that's what I want. That's why our will has got to line up with the will of God. That's why our purpose has got to be God's purpose. That's why our destiny has to be God's destiny in order for us to accomplish the will of God. And so he made this possible. He made this possible in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died and gave his life for us. I don't know about you, but I understand more and more every day that if God did not make the sacrifice that he made for me, I could not be where I am today. If he never did what he did for me, if he never looked beyond my faults, and if he never saw my need, if he never provided a ransom for me, I would not be where I am today. Because when I look back over my life, I've done some things that I should have been cut off for. When I look back over my life, I've said some things that I should have been cut off for. I've been in some places that I never should have made it back home from. I know you don't want to be honest about it, but the truth of the matter is there were some things that you deserved that God did not give you. There were some lessons that you deserved that God skipped over. I can't get a witness in the building. And he saw that you needed what? Grace. Look at somebody and tell them, thank God for his grace. Thank God for his grace. Thank God for his grace. The grace of God is God's unmerited favor. It is undeserved. It is something that we could not earn. Your works cannot earn grace. Your singing cannot earn grace. Your playing cannot earn grace. This preaching cannot earn the grace of God. But it was given to us while we were sinners. It was given to us when God knew everything about us. He knew what we were going to do, and he knew what we wasn't going to do. He knew that we would not obey his word, and he knew when we would obey his word, and he still decided to give us the gift of grace. Ephesians 2:8 says, for by grace ye are ye saved through faith, and not of yourself, but it is a gift of God. Look at somebody and tell them, God gave me a gift. God gave me something that I could not pay for. God gave me something that I couldn't do any good deeds for. It was a gift from God. Oh, I remember the Samaritan woman, and she was at the well, and Jesus comes to her and says, give me a drink of water. And this woman said, oh, you're a Jew, sir. Y'all don't have no dealings with the Samaritans. And Jesus looked at her and said, if you only knew the gift of God, if you only knew what God did for you, if you only understood who you were talking to, if you only understood who you served. And people of God, God has given us the gift of grace, but if you never receive the gift, then you can never operate in the benefits of it. I can't get a witness in the building. If you never receive the gift of God, then you can never operate in the benefits of it. Hallelujah. If not for Christ dying on the cross, there would be no grace extended toward us. But because God is not the kind of God that forces things on us, He's given you the option to receive His grace. He's given you an option to take up His grace. Hallelujah, Jesus. And so you got to understand that we must understand that the grace is a gift. And not only is it a gift, but it is a gift